Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have way too many notebooks here. It is almost the end of January and I am revising my planner lineup, so that means all of the journals or notebooks I'll be using in 2025. Now that doesn't mean that I have to finish every single journal in 2025. It just means that these are all of the things that I'm going to be using, whether daily, weekly, or monthly, to accomplish my goals this year. So starting off with a bit of a recap, I have my stream of conscious journals here. So I have this one, which I use to process thoughts and emotions that are a little bit like on the heavier side, any negative thoughts that I just need space for. I've learned that I like to have them in a different journal so that I'm not rereading them. So separating that away from other journals is very beneficial for my mental health, and I just need that outlet. So that's just gonna have its own separate journal. This is just line pages, and I like having large pieces of paper for my stream of conscious writing. Typically I'll only do like a page at a time, but of course I can go over if I need to. Then again, kind of same thing, but these are not for like heavier emotions. This one is stream of conscious before bed, so I can say anything I want. I guess if it starts to be negative or heavy, it's no big deal, I'm getting it out. But this is just my before bed thoughts. I'm trying to use this every day, but this is not an everyday journal yet. Then I have this stream of conscious journal, which again, I will just write a page. I typically use this one for ideas and business notes. And then I'll go through and I'll highlight and pull things like what I need to do so that I can really do like a thorough brain dump. And then I'll make a to-do list from there. This one is sitting at my desk at work. So that's 3 journals, and these ones are my largest journals. So then we have my 10-year and my 5-year journal. Each of these I have a separate video for on how I set them up and how I'm using them. Basically, this one is just a self-connection journal for over the span of 5 years. So basically, I'm asking myself the same question every day, which is how did you connect with yourself that day? And I'm filling both of these in at the end of the day. And then I have my 10-year journal. This is more so like a memory keeping kind of journal. Things that I think that my future self might find interesting that it did that day, or that I thought or felt that day. This one is also a memory keeping journal, but this one is just about me and my partner and our dates and our adventures. This one's a little bit more personal, so there's not going to be a setup video on the channel, but all of our inside jokes are going to be kept in there. And then we have my moon and astrology and tarot journal. This one is dotted and this one is lined. So I use this one for moon journaling, so reflecting on where the moon is, and I'm trying to learn more about astrology. So I have like what each planet means and what each house means, and I'm going to be putting my birth chart in here. And this is sort of like more of a reference journal, but at the same time, I will be like reflecting on like doing like new moon rituals and stuff like that in this one. And there's also some tarot aspects in this one, just learning about tarot. But this one is for my actual tarot reading. So whenever I do a spread, I want to do my reflection in here because this one is lined. So I'll be like responding to what I think the card means for me in my life. So this one's more of a tarot reflection journal. Then I have a couple of spiral notebooks. These ones are A5 dotted spiral notebooks, and I have a few of these. So a couple of them are actually going to just be kept at work, and they're for, again, just like business notes and kind of like creating spreads that I might like to do digitally, or just jotting down notes for just brainstorming ideas for different products and things like that. I also am making a journaling course this year, so I definitely need a notebook separate for that. But then this one is for my nonfiction reflections. So when I read nonfiction books, I want to be writing down what about the book made me feel like inspired, or what did I learn from each book. I want to keep them all in one book so that I can reread the journal and read all my notes about all of the nonfiction books that I've read, so I don't have to reread the book essentially. Then I have my square journal from Archer and Olive. Now this one is not a definitive journal yet. Like, it's not defined. I don't really want to like label this anything except my creative slash play journal. This one is probably the most related to a bullet journal, but I don't want to call it a bullet journal because I'm not going to be following the bullet journal rules, and I don't want to follow any rules in this. I've never had a square journal before, so I really need to just like let myself see what comes up in my journal. But I will be doing a flip through for this one coming up in a video, so stay tuned for that one. And then I have my traveler's notebook, which I use as a habit tracker. I have a video of a flip through for this one as well. And all the videos for the flip throughs will obviously be in the description box below. And then moving on, so the main reason why I am adding journals to my lineup this kind of late in the game, even though it's not late in the game, you can add a journal at any point in time, is because Archer and Olive did a new release on December 27th, and obviously I had to get them. So I got two B6 journals, which are in the Moon and the Storybook one. These journals are just so gorgeous. When I saw them, I knew I had to have them. And I'm getting a little bit obsessed with the B6 size. I've never really had like a B6 journal, so I'm definitely excited to use these ones. So this one is going to be my meditation journal, and I've already used it quite a bit. So every morning I'll wake up and I'll do my meditation and affirmations and all of that. It's going to go in here. And I will do, again, a flip through later on once that one's completely set up. This one is a little bit more personal. I haven't really like decided, again, definitively like what is going in here. I did make like a initial spread in the beginning, but this one... So here's the thing, to be transparent with you guys, I have been through some shit, and I think that there is a certain point in time in life where like journaling really helped me get through all of it. It is my go-to for healing from basically everything I've been through, and journaling has helped me so much. But I feel like I am on the other side of things now, and I don't want to just look at journaling as a way to heal my trauma. There is a lot more to me than my trauma, so I feel like this book is like discovering who I am aside from the trauma. I'm not exactly sure how to journal for that yet, other than like planning or having a specific self-care journal. Like this one is just like me. Like, who am I aside from the trauma, aside from the things that I've been through, aside from the pain that I felt and things like that. So this one definitely needs a little bit of time to evolve. I'm thinking I want it to be a little bit inspirational so that when I read back, it's like empowering and inspiring to reread. So I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of like, since I have a journal for negative thoughts, maybe this is positive thoughts, but I also don't want to put that pressure on me because I'm not always thinking positive thoughts, but that's cool. Like, I don't want this to be like affirmational where I'm saying positive things to help me feel positive things. Like, I want it to be what I'm actually feeling. I was thinking that this one could be something to help me like get closer to my desires and like what I want for myself. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want this journal to be about goals either. So maybe a lot of like scrapbooky stuff, like poetry. Anyway, after that tangent, let me know if you have any ideas or anything that you would add to that would help me get into this journal a little bit more. I can't wait to actually like try to see what this journal becomes. So the other two journals that I'm adding to my lineup are a B6 size butterfly, and then this one, I didn't really like the cover, so I just went over it with scrapbook paper I found. As you can see, I really love butterflies. I also have a butterfly tattoo, but for some reason, like 2025 is screaming purple butterfly to me, so that's kind of like into the theme of the year, so don't worry, like I'm not just like obsessed, but I am. So this one's gonna be my reflection journal. And by that, I mean, I'm going to pick like a topic or a question that I want to reflect on and like really go in depth with like my opinions on things. So like, what does blank mean to you? And this is going to be like questions that like you would only ask yourself like once. And so I want to do like it would be nice to do like a reflection maybe every other day or maybe a week. I'm gonna come up with a couple of examples and some topics for myself to reflect on, and I'll be putting them in the journal at the front of the journal, and then I'll just pick one and go through it whenever I want to. So that's not like a daily thing, that's just a whenever I feel like kind of thing. And then this one I'm going to be using for my yoga journal. So I was doing a lot of like journaling about yoga kind of like all throughout my life, but like a lot last year in my Good Notes planner, on my iPad. But I really want to like have a journal that I can lay open while I'm doing yoga so that I can write down anything like specific to my yoga sessions and like plan out my yoga routines and poses that I want to do more. I also want to put like just inspirational pictures in here and kind of like make spreads like what does yoga mean for me and like what do I get out of yoga and why do I do yoga, and have that as more of like a tangible thing that I can look through whenever I'm doing yoga. So like inspiring quotes and like things to remember during a session. I also want to like have a flip out that tells me what to write down like every session that I do. So today I did this. These poses were easy. These poses were hard. These ones are the ones I want to do more. I really liked this transition. I tried this video by this person. I did like 30 minutes, or, you know, my hips were really tight, like all of that kind of stuff. So that is my yoga journal. And then, of course, to top it all off, I have my iPad. So this will be my digital planner, and this will be anything goals related. So tasks and productivity and trackers, and I use Google Sheets to track my reading, and I do reading journaling in here just because it's a lot easier for me to get like the pictures of the covers and put them digitally. Anything like digital planning will be on my iPad. So as for the journals that I use every day, the first one that I use in the day is my meditation journal, where I obviously write about like my meditation session, and then I use my habit tracker journal. So I track down the habits I either did yesterday, or I write down that I did my meditation and I did my yoga and I did my morning routine. Once this journal is set up, I will be using this in the morning to do my yoga, but I don't do yoga every day. So technically this is an everyday journal because my goal is to do yoga every day, but I'm not sure if every yoga session really needs a reflection. So that is kind of like tentative, but this is not like a have to use every day. These ones are kind of like I have to use them every day. And then after I do my habit tracker, I check my daily planner and I'll see what tasks I have to do that day. So this is kind of like my morning journaling routine. I will check my tasks, but then I'll also do like a little morning journal that I have as a spread on here. And sometimes like I pick an intention. So like, let's say I really want to feel more alignment that day, then I have like my alignment journal that I use, and I'll journal about like what I can do to feel more alignment that day. So that's kind of like a part of my morning session too, if I feel like it, and if the day warrants it or my mind is just not cooperating. I'll also do stream of conscious writing in the morning in my planner as well. So these are kind of like my morning journals with the addition of my yoga journal whenever I need it. Another one that's kind of tentative too is this one. This one I am using as a little bit of a planner. I do have a weekly spread in here and I have been checking it lately. So technically it's a daily journal just because I have been using it daily lately for tasks when I need like a physical page. But it's not a have to use every day kind of journal. But if I was using it, this would be the journal that would be next. I would also be using this at the end of my workday to check in with my tasks, or I would do that in my digital planner. And then for my evening daily journals, I would be filling out my habit tracker first. So writing down what I succeeded in that day, any habits that I have to record. Then I would move on to my 5-year, answer the journal prompt, how did I take care of myself today in this one. Then I would fill out a memory for my 10-year, and then if I have time or if I need it, I will write in my stream of conscious journal before bed. I also have evening journal spreads on my iPad, so sometimes I will use those. And if I did set an intention in the morning, I do like to reflect on it at the end of the day, so I will go back to that spread that I made in the morning. But that's not really like a have to, that's just kind of like if I did. But I'm definitely trying to use this one a lot more, so it's not necessarily a have to, but I'm keeping it by my bedside and just really encouraging myself to even just write a paragraph before bed, because I wake up with way more focus the next day, and I feel a lot better when I write stream of conscious before bed. So that is all of the journals I'll be using in 2025. Again, I don't have to finish them by the end of the year by any means, but it would be nice to like finish one. I'll definitely be doing like a recap at the end of the year to see what journals I'm still using, what journals I finished, what journals I'm letting go of, and of course like what journals I'll be adding in for next year. Definitely let me know if any of these journals gave you any ideas of what to start or how to use any of your old journals. To see the flip through of these journals, definitely check the links in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!